Ready for it.
Thrilled for it.
Presenting Franks with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
The title defence is still alive for Kolkata Knight Riders, even if only by the barest of margins with that win against Rajasthan Royals. They now welcome the Chennai Super Kings for what is their last league game at Eden Gardens. Let's build up to that on Nexa Presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout in the company of Katey Martin and Abhinav Mukund. Thank you for your time. Chennai Super Kings versus KKR the first time around was one of several lows in CSK's campaign. 103 for 9. KKR spinners applied the chokehold like few teams have at the Chepauk. Can we expect a bit of a repeat?
I would hope not. But to be fair, the KKR team have done really well at the Chepauk. It's a kind of surface that suits their team more than the home team at this point, considering their strength in spin and their proficiency of their batters against spin. They're very, very good players of spin. So I wasn't surprised. Another low-scoring thriller which happened seasons gone by, 140, they got it back. It was a very low-scoring game. That's the kind of games that KKR, CSK play, but I don't think that's happening at the Edens. They'll try to out-hit them, out-bat them. KKR will definitely be thinking maybe a decent sort of surface where they cross 200 plus and then their bowlers defend it.
From a CSK batting perspective, a lot of the personnel have changed since then. They've injected some much-needed life. If the KKR spinners are to find support at the Eden, can we expect a better batting display from CSK?
I think so, yeah. I think Brevis is a crucial part of that through the middle order. Unfortunate non-review against RCB, which probably could have been the turning point in that game, which now everyone knows the rules about dead balls and whatnot. But I think, look, the kids are up the top have I guess, just grown in confidence. Yash coming off that 90-odd and just the way that he played, I think they're going to continue with that approach. And I thought Jadeja was a lot better versus the spin against RCB, the deepness that he got in the crease. So yeah, I think they'll be better. But KKR, a lot of their game is set around the spinners through the middle. And if they can have them bowling in tandem and have them bowling with control, you expect that's the blueprint on how they're going to win. So how does CSK with the likes of Brevis and that break it up through the middle is going to be crucial for them to, I guess, achieve a win that they're probably so desperate for at the moment.
Yeah, only 2 wins out of 6 at Eden for KKR. And strangely enough, Sunil Narayan has just 2 wickets in 23 overs that he's bowled here, a ground where he's enjoyed so much success in the past. Why has that happened?
Look, it's again what I call now the Bumrah effect. It's basically teams trying to not take him on as much. Even if you look at the last game, it was a 200 play, 205, 206. He ends up going for 27 runs in 4. You can't get that. You will get 40, 2 for 40, 2 for 41, stuff like that. You've seen those analysis. 4 overs 27 was gold dust in that venue, in that particular game, especially when Riyan Parag was going after the spin as much. I don't read in too much into that, but I still think he's got phenomenal amount of skill and he's contributing as much with the ball. He is a bankable 4 overs bowler. The only way I would say if it's a point of concern when Narayan goes for 45 and goes wicketless, but I don't see this as a point of concern at all.
All right, yeah, none for 27 and 4. Quite good in a 200 game, as Abhinav points out. He was also player of the match the game before that, an all-round performance for the ages in Delhi. The last player of the match award went to his West Indian counterpart, Andre Russell, who finally came out to bat with some overs left and made runs. Can we expect KKR to stick with that ploy?
I think they will. What they have to do is break up the slowness after the power play. Rahane's been scoring runs, but it is a real drop-off after the power play. The way that he plays the spinners, we know Jadeja will clearly bowl through the middle as well. They might hold him back slightly outside the power play. And Raghavanshi as well, again, has had a really good IPL, but the way that they sort of lost that momentum, they've had to put Andre Russell up to be able to do that. I thought if Rajasthan had just kept another over or 2 against a spinner, it might have been a different contest with Russell struggling at the start. But, geez, he just showed his class, didn't he? And he can be a slow starter at times, but if he's there in the last 5 overs, we saw what damage he did in the last game and expect that they'll use him, that floating option, and potentially to try and break up some of the batters against the spin.
Yeah, KKR still not getting the best out of their power hitting core. I mean, Rinku, Ramandeep Singh has barely faced a ball in a while. And even with Russell's 25 ball 57, they did end up winning that last game just by 1 run.
Look, I think KKR have a problem with two things. One is their keeper bat and where they play the keeper bat. They have to open. And then they have a problem with too many number threes. They've got Rahane and Raghuvanshi who are ideally number threes and Venkatesh Iyer to that mix. So they end up playing them at 3, 4 and 5 with Russell, Rinku and Ramandeep at 6, 7, 8, which becomes very low for either the 7 or the 8. So they've just been floating around with it.
Throw in Moeen Ali as well.
Throw in Moeen Ali in there as well. So you've got too many of those number threes. I personally, if I were KKR, I'd sacrifice that keeper as the impact player. Bring him in for the field if you just need it. Open with Rahane or open with Raghuvanshi, who we've seen open for Mumbai a lot. Or if you want to still take the chance with Venkatesh Iyer, who again we've seen open. They are much better suited for those conditions and you're wasting a batter or two even sometimes and not ending up using Andre Russell like you were just talking about. So I would say make it an entry point thing. Don't focus too much on the fact that we need to give these particular batters these many overs. Open with Rahane or Raghuvanshi so that you can maximize that middle order like they did in the previous game.
Bold call on the keeper. I have to get you in on that.
Well, you said if they need them, and I thought, I mean, about an hour ago we were talking about how great wicket keepers were, but yeah, you're spot on. Like Quinton de Kock, we haven't seen him since he scored those. Well, he had a bit of a lean patch. Gurbaz, I think he is a good player of spin, and he has got experience. They've obviously clearly stuck with him in terms of that option, but you're spot on. He opens for Afghanistan. He's now opening here, so it's how they break up at 3, 4, and 5 for me. Spot on in terms of trying to keep that momentum in the middle overs. You can't bank on having a great 5 overs in every single game, unfortunately, and that's where if they can shift that middle order, they are a team that could score 230 at home, and then you go, well, that's a complete performance. And I think we're sitting here going, it can be there. It's just how they get their order right.
Right. Let's talk CSK. And while their season is all but over, they are eliminated. They have turned to youth, and youth has injected some life into their batting. Ayush Matre, Devil Brevis catching the eye. The tactic is, of course, understandable given how their season panned out. But what does it mean for the senior pros like Devon Conway and Rachin Ravindra?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because they've always trusted their key lieutenants, if I might call it. They've enjoyed success with having that overseas opener up top. But unfortunately, it's been the season where they're still trying to figure out a combination. I know Sam Curran's done well for CSK, it's just one game, but I still believe that Devon or Rachin Ravindra has to make that playing 11. Now that you know Ayush Matre is playing in a particular mode, but he is taking the power play on, you've got the luxury of Conway or Rachin giving a bit more stability. But where do you find that fourth overseas then? Who do you drop in that side? So that's again a cause for concern. I would think Conway and Ayush Matre would make a very nice pair. Conway's got a lot of success in the IPL. I feel as good as Rachin Ravindra is, I would still wait a couple more seasons. He's had enjoyed a lot more success in tests and ODIs and not much in T20s. So keep Rachin, but I would still prefer Conway opening with Ayush Matre if there is an opportunity.
Weigh in on the Kiwis, two players who've been quite key to CSK. They RTM'd one, they spent 6.25 crore on Devon Conway, and just where they find themselves.
Yeah, I think Devon's probably struggled for the last 18 months or so. He's been in and out with injuries. He's given up his New Zealand cricket contract and sort of gone down that franchise route. And I guess there's a difference in the way that you have to approach it when you are just a franchise player at the moment. He is class. He's a guy, when he's in form, he is so difficult to bowl against. And I do like the fact of being able to allow a 17-year-old to have someone at the other end that can just provide them a little bit of guidance. It's just where Devon Conway's confidence is at the moment and whether he feels that he's in a good space to be able to score runs. And he gets starts. He's had starts in various Champions Trophy when he had opportunities and so on. So, yeah, it's how they marry up for the future, that youth, which we're seeing in other teams like Rajasthan Royal, we're seeing that extra bit of support, how they marry up that youth with that experienced players, because that's the way they're going to develop quicker, those younger players.
If you want to do it though, who misses out?
Noor,
Patirana, Brevis, Curran. Those were the 4 overseas last year.
That's the thing, right? Like, so if you're primarily using Sam Curran as a number 3, I would rather use Conway or Rachin. So That's the argument that I bring to the table. That being said, MS Dhoni likes that cushion of having those couple of overs. He's not too confident with Pathirana's 4 overs at the moment. That's the same case with Jadeja as well, where he's not giving you too much. So I would still say you've got to bank on someone who's a quality number 3, especially against KKR. I know Sam Curran's got runs at home, but that was just one game. I'd rather have Conway. You know Ruturaj is going to be back. And then what happens? You know, he's going to be... If you're looking ahead to the season, CSK have traditionally never spent this big money on an opening bat ever.
I'm going to throw one aspect of the Kiwi nature in. If they do want to go with a batter that can bowl, Ratchin is a left-arm spinner. He does bowl a little bit in Test cricket as well. And the fact that KKR have struggled in the middle against spin, that might be something that could weigh in the back of their mind of having that shift as an option.
All right, quickly. Anyone giving CSK a chance?
I'd love to. 2%.
2%. Okay, that's rich.
2%?
Yeah, I'll just give 2%. Just because I'm from Chennai, I think KKR are very strong.
Yeah, I think KKR, yep.
All right, KKR favourites on the couch. Thank you so much, Katey, Abhinav, for your time. CSK needs some wins. If they don't win a few of the last few games, it will be the first time they finish bottom of the points table in an IPL season.
Ready for it.
Thrill for it.
Presenting Franks with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
Next up.